welcome back to Algebra 1. Today we're going to be in lesson 12.8 in your textbook, finding cubed roots by factoring. This is quite similar to our previous lesson on finding the square roots by factoring, only doing it by, of course, cubed roots. So this lesson isn't going to be very long. It's the same principles, just cubed roots instead of square roots. So our examples. Example 1, if we have the cubed root of 216, we can find this out. So they've already given you all the little numbers and stuff, but we would find this out by going, okay, 216, and we could divide that by 2, seeing how it's an even number, and we'd end up with 108, and that's also an even number, so we can go right into 108 with 54, and 2 goes into 54, 27 times. Now 27 is not an even number, therefore we can't just continue on with our 2's as we were doing. However, they've already told us we can use 3's, so we can already go ahead and go, well, 3 goes into 27, 9 times, 3 goes into 9, 3 times, 3 goes into 3, 3 times. So now we just put all of this together and we can go, okay, the cube root of 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 3, or the cubed root of 2 to the third power times 3 to the third power. And then when we cube this, our 3's disappear and we end up with 2 times 3, which equals 6. And 6 is our answer. Now, when it comes to bigger numbers, such as the next example they have here of 42,875, we can't just start off with 2. 1, because it's not an even number, but 2, because it's a huge number, so we want to start off with a bigger number. So they've given us 5, which makes sense since how the final digit here is a 5, therefore we automatically know that this is going to be divisible by 5. So 42875 divide by 5, it's going to be 8575, and then 5 goes into 8575 1,715 times, 343, and we can see that at 343 it's no longer divisible by 5, so therefore we're going to have to use a different number again. Now the example has already given us 7 as our next number. However, if we were unsure, we could try other numbers such as 2, 3, 4, and all the way up. And we know from looking at it that 3 would probably work. However, we're trying to get to a point where it ends at 0 at the bottom number. So we're trying to get to a point where it doesn't end in decimal points that go on and on and on. So we would end up with 7 goes into 343 49 times, 7 goes into 49 7 times, 7 goes into 7 once. So again, our cubed root would be 5 times 5 times 5 times 7 times 7 times 7, or 5 to the third power times 7 to the third power. Again, when we times it, when we multiply it, our 3's all cancel out, as we already know how to square root or cube root something with exponents, and end up with 5 times 7, which is going to equal 35, which is our answer. Now, you can check this by going 35 times 35 times 35, or plugging it into your calculator. Either one will check your answer for you, and you should end up with our huge number that we started with. Like I said, fairly easy, fairly straightforward. So let's do problem 4 in your textbook, just to go through and make sure that you understand this. So number 4 is the cubed root of 2,744. So because it's an even number, we could start with 2. So 2 goes into 2,744 1,372 times. 2 goes into 1,372, 6, 8, 6 again. 2 goes into 686 343 times. And again, we're down to something that's not an even number, so we're going to have to switch to a different number. Now, I went through already and tried numbers such as 3 and something, and they went on for ages, so it's easier. So the next easiest one to do is 7 goes into 343, because this ends up quite nicely. As you can see, this ends in 49. So then 7 into 49 is by 7, and 7 into 7 is 1. So this gives us a nice 3 numbers to work with, instead of the several others that we ended up with when I was doing this earlier. And then that would end up to be 2 to the power 3 times 7 to the power 3, 2 times 7, which equals 14. And there would be our answer. So like I said, these problems are not difficult. They're not that hard to do. And honestly, they shouldn't take you all that long to get through. So for classwork today, you are doing 2 through 8 evens. And for homework, you have 1 through 9 odds, as well as you're going to go over to 11.11 and do number 18. So if you haven't already, I have other math problems or other math videos that I'll put over here for you. I also tutor online, so the link to that is in my description. I'll put that link in the description below. It's also on my profile page in case you're interested. And that's it for this lesson, so I'll see you guys next time.